Okay, very exciting. Some great reads for beach or patio or nice comfy chair. Coming up. Keep reading. Hi, Terri Gillespie here, and welcome to my monthly top picks for the month of July. And we've got some great books, so let's get on to it right now. All right, my first book is the lead book, and it is Cheryl Gray Bostrom's latest release, What the River Keeps. I have been waiting for Cheryl's next book, and she is my lead book for this top picks, which means that I will be interviewing her, and that interview will be out on August 6th. So you'll have to be sure and watch, and there's some couple of really good giveaways too, so stay tuned for that. Now, Cheryl, she's really a unique writer. I love authors who look at the world in a different way, look at people in a different way, and feature characters that wouldn't be typical characters, especially in inspirational fiction. So this is a standalone. Now, you'll have to pre-order this one, and I highly recommend pre-ordering it so you get it right away, because I have a feeling it'll sell out with the first printing. And it will release August 12th? Yeah, August 12th. So I'll have the links down below in the description section for where to order and pre-order for all of the books that we're featuring this month. So if you're not familiar with Cheryl, this is her third book, I believe, and she's won awards. With her first book, she's won awards. So yeah, I was sold. First book I read. So here's a little bit about Cheryl. For most of her life, Pacific Northwest naturalist and best-selling author Cheryl Gray Bostrom has roamed the rural and wild lands that infuse her fiction, poetry, and devotional writing. A Christie Award finalist, her debut novel, Sugarbirds, has won more than a dozen key honors. An avid photographer, she lives with her veterinarian husband and a small pack of Gordon settlers in Washington State. Washington State is one of the most beautiful states in the Union, and we lived there for about 2 years, and I am not an outdoorsy person. You'll hear more about that in the interview, but you can't help it in that area of the country. It's just so beautiful. So let's see. Here is a little bit about the book. Yeah, Tyndale always has these super long synopses on their advanced reader's copy. So let me just try the first paragraph. Hildy Nybo is a successful biologist. Her study of the Pacific Northwest's wild fish, both a passion and a career. But behind her professional brilliance, Hildy's reclusive private life reflects a childhood fraught with uncertainty. Despite her father's love and her mother's sympathy, she grew up constantly losing even her most cherished belongings, unable to recall where she misplaced them. Haunted by the confusion of those early years, she now records her life in detailed diaries and clings tightly to memory-prompting keepsakes. This was just fascinating to to dig inside the behaviors of someone who had a challenging childhood. Um, it it's plausible, it's logical, the way that she patterns the behavior of this brilliant biologist, and she just the shame that happens when you don't understand why you do the things that you do, and they're bizarre, just so good. And there is a love interest and family dynamics. And then where Cheryl excels is in her descriptive narratives of the Pacific Northwest, and you can just feel it and smell it, and it's just beautiful. And in my blog interview, there'll be some unbelievable photographs of Cheryl's research trip to the Olympic Peninsula. So it's, yeah, can you tell I'm a fan? I am very much a fan. So, okay, so let's read first paragraph. So this is a prologue in Hildy's point of view, and it's when she's younger, and the title of the chapter is, or prologue is, Fish. Elwha River Valley, Washington State, 1985. On her 10th birthday, Hildy Nybo was casting a spinner under the Elwha River Bridge when a streak of silver broke the surface. She whistled softly and pointed at the fish as it flicked its tail and disappeared into the pool's shaded depths. I want to read more, but gotta order this or enter, and then if you don't win, then you can order it. Okay. Amy Lee Green. Now, did I say that Cheryl's book was published by Tyndale? It's published by Tyndale. Okay. Amy Lee Green's The Codebreaker's Daughter is published by Bethany House, and it released in June. Now, my first book was the last book that Amy wrote, and she's written quite a few more, but it was the Foxhole Victory Tour. Just very different and very informative, but it just has such great story, great character development, and of course history, which I am now a fan of. Had some great information about the victory tours during World War II. Now, this is set in about the time period, but it's also a dual timeline. So it's World War II and World War I. And in the point of view of her mother in World War I, and the protagonist, Lillian, in World War II. So if you're not familiar with Amy Lynn, let me tell you a little bit about her. Amy Lynn Green has always loved history and reading, and she enjoys speaking with book clubs, writing groups, and libraries all around the country. Her debut novel, Things We Didn't Say, was nominated for a 2021 Minnesota Book Award, and she won 2 Carol Awards. Things We Didn't Say and the Blackout Book Club received starred reviews from Booklist and Library Journal. Amy and her family make their home in Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, so Bethany House Publishers, it's Christian historical. And here's a little bit about the story. Okay, Lillian is the mother, not the daughter. Okay. Lillian once cracked ciphers during World War I. Now her daughter Dinah is trapped doing clerical work for World War II OSS. Though Lillian is hesitant to return to wartime work, she is drawn to Washington, D.C. by an old acquaintance. As a web of intrigue grows even wider, mother and daughter must confront secrets in D.C. before the impending D-Day is compromised. So there's espionage, there's just information about developing codes and developing all sorts of tools to help win the war. And sometimes it's just as simple as rumor campaigns. So it's just fascinating, really fascinating. So here is Dinah, which is the daughter. Saturday, February 26, 1944. As the bell above the drugstore door gave its apologetic half jingle, Dinah Kendall turned casually on her stool to see who else had ventured out on such a blustery winter afternoon. She smiled at the trio in drab olive wool coats. Yes, these had to be her assigned marks, though they'd arrived later than scheduled. It's really cool because it was amazing how the Army utilized civilians, especially women, during World War II. Okay. Elizabeth Goddard, Perilous Tides. Ooh, I love that. That's cool. Okay, this is book 2 in the Hidden Bay series. Book 1 was Page Turner. This is published by Revell, and it came out this month, July 15th, so you can order it and get it quick. And just a reminder, the links are down below in the description section. Now, I am a great fan of Elizabeth, and if you love mystery, suspense, and thrillers, she's your gal. So Elizabeth is a USA Today top-selling and best-selling author and a Christie Award-winning author of more than 60 novels, including the Missing in Alaska series, Rocky Mountain Courage, and the Uncommon Justice series. My late sister, actually, she loved that series. She was a paralegal, so she really enjoyed that. Her books sold more than 1.5 million copies. She is a Carol Award winner, a 2-time Reader's Choice Award winner, a Daphne du Maurier Award, and Holt Medallion finalist. When she's not writing, she loves spending time with her family, traveling to find inspiration for her next book, and serving with her husband in ministry. Okay, so here's a little bit about the book. 3 years after her mother's suspicious death, forensic artist Joe Cottrell is in hiding, working at a storm-watching lodge along the Washington coast. When her father sends her a disturbing and cryptic message, Joe leaves the safety of the lodge to find him, but during the ferry crossing, Joe witnesses a murder and becomes a target. Okay. That was crazy. This is at the beginning of the book, and it's like it really sets the tone for the rest of the book. So you'll be up until the wee hours finishing this one. More surprising to Joe than being in danger is the identity of the person who steps in to protect her, none other than her ex, former Green Beret Cole Mercer. Now a private investigator, Cole has been looking into her mother's death. If he can just uncover the truth, maybe Joe can end her self-imposed captivity, and the two of them can pick up the pieces and build a future together. As Cole and Joe search for answers, the past rushes in like a dangerous tide before the truth can be revealed. Ugh, so good. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, chapter 1, and this is contemporary suspense. Downtown Seattle, March. You won't see danger coming until it's too late. Those words, shared by her mother moments before her death, had defined Jo Cottrell's life for the last 3 years since she fled Michigan, and maybe the life of every dead or missing person whose case she'd ever worked as a forensic artist. As for suspects, she lived to take them down with nothing more than a pencil, but there was a downside to it, a morbidity. All righty. Oh, another really good one. I mean, this is very apropos for a beach read, but you don't need to have a beach to read it. This is Rachel Hauck's The Sands of Sea Blue Beach. And this is not technically a series, but she builds on the previous books that are set in Sea Blue Beach. And Sea Blue Beach is kind of this mysterious, fantastical beach that's just nestled in the middle of reality. I don't know how else to say it. So this book also released on July 15th. And if you're not familiar with Rachel, which I would be very surprised if you're not, let me tell you a little bit about her. Rachel Hauck is an award-winning New York Times, USA Today, and Wall Street Journal best-selling author. She is a double Rita finalist and a Christie and Carol Award winner. Her book, Once Upon a Prince, first in the Royal Wedding series, was filmed for an original Hallmark movie. A graduate of Ohio State, Rachel lives in sunny Central Florida with her husband. So this is considered Christian romance, kind of a dual timeline, because you meet the main characters when they're teenagers. And it goes back and forth to talk about how they fell in love and then they were separated. So, okay, high school sweethearts, which isn't actually, I don't know. I love Bethany House, but I don't know that it's actually Emery Quinn and Caleb Ransom. Technically what they do is they meet when they were in high school. She came down for vacation and he was a townie, and they met and it was just this immediate connection, and then they were separated. But now both of them return to Sea Blue Beach for a fresh start, but painful memories resurface and they're faced with new challenges. As they each work to preserve the divided town, they take a chance at joining forces to reunite the division between old and new while rekindling love in the process. I mean, it's a good synopsis. Just, it's one of those things that it's hard to describe because it has this fantastical, spiritual component that is just goosebumpy. Is that a word? It's a goosebumpy. Okay, chapter 1, Emery. And it's set now, New Year's Eve. Well, she did not see this coming. A midnight proposal with all the family around. Yet it was the way of James Gillespie, and he wasn't proposing to her. He was proposing to Ava, her sister. 2 words that she still struggled to reckon with after 15 years. All right. Last book. And this is When the Road Comes Around, and it's by Katie Powell. And it's published by Bethany House, and it actually releases August 5th. So releases next week. Pre-order. Definitely pre-order. Now, When the Road Comes Around, it's a standalone, and Katie Powner, she's another one that she's a recent addition to my regulars. And she's similar to Cheryl Bostrom in that she has unique characters and with unique pasts and troubled pasts. And then they have just real life issues that they have to deal with. Plus, she has a character, the woman's son is autistic. So, good, very good. I did post a review on this, and I recommend you check that out on Goodreads or BookBub. It has my reviews of all the books that I read on my BookBub page. All right, so if you're not familiar with Katie Powner, she is a Christie Award-winning author who lives in rural Montana, where cows still outnumber people. Montana is another beautiful place, and it's, it's very close to Washington State. You got a little bit of Idaho in there, but beautiful, beautiful place. I had friends that lived in Libby, Montana. Actually, they still live in Libby, Montana. She writes contemporary fiction about redemption, relationships, and finding the dirt road home. She's a mom to the third power, biological, adoptive, and foster, and she loves red shoes, Jesus, and candy, not necessarily in that order. Okay, this is Contemporary Christian, and here is a summary. Tad Bungley has a reputation for trouble, but Anita Wilson believes that all Tad needs is a chance, so she convinces her husband to offer Tad a job at their ranch. She didn't anticipate the effect Tad would have on her disabled son, and together, Tad and Anita must learn when to hold on, when to let go, and how to embrace grace. Boy, we all need that, don't we? All righty. Chapter 1. Tad Bungley had always hoped Sam's habit of disappearing would keep the kids safe from women like Maddie Pine, women who knew how to get their sharp, painted fingernails into a guy and not let go until the moment it would cause the most damage. But as Maddie's red Mazda RX-7 wound its way up the dirt road to Come Around Ranch, Tad had a bad feeling. Real bad. Oh, okay. It's got a little bit of a mystery thread, definitely some suspense in there as well. Very good. All right. So thanks again for watching. I hope you found one or more different books that you would like to read. And by the way, just a reminder, anytime you read a book and you love a book, be sure and leave a review. It can just be a few lines, but it means so much to us authors because publishers look at that, and it also affects the algorithm of places like Amazon and other sites. And it's nice. It's nice to, when somebody loves a book that you love, it's like somebody loving your child. So, I'm hyperbole, but anyway. Well, that's it for this month. Next month, I've already started reading for August, and it's lots of good choices. So I will see you next month, and in the meantime, God bless and keep reading.